This officially happened. Our Ginger Queen has officially left her throne. This show is officially losing its spice. However, how about we try to find a different ending for this episode in which can happen anything except Ellie's elimination? Let's try. Hello there, I am Rafi Abigarian, and in this video, we are going to talk about top 10 best things that Ellie could do to avoid her elimination. But before we get started, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you are not subscribed to it yet. Don't forget to press the like button under this video. And now, let's get started. Okay, so the first thing that she could do is to act a little less devious. Did Ellie become a target after joining the Villains Alliance? Yes, absolutely yes. However, what turned her into an even bigger target is her gameplay style. You gotta admit it, especially in the recent episodes, Ellie's style of gameplay became a little more devious, aggressive, and hot-blooded. But what if Ellie prefers to be that way during the game? Well, at least she could act more mature and be a little nicer to her best friend Tess. Tess is one of the biggest fan favorite contestants, and gonna be honest, she's also one of my personal favorites. On one hand, I have pretty mixed feelings about what she did to Ellie. However, on the other hand, I cannot blame her for what she did. This time, Tess got a really good point. The effect that this game was leaving on Ellie was, well, not the best. If Ellie would be a little nicer to Tess, maybe she would not vote for her, and maybe she would vote for Tom and make it a tiebreaker in which Ellie would have all the chances to win. But what if Ellie would still like to act like a self-concentrated bitch? Well, in that case, she could try to, well, get rid of Tess. Yeah guys, you heard it right. In this case, this variant would absolutely work. There are several arguments why this could happen. First of all, Tess didn't vote with Ellie at the last elimination ceremony. She threw her vote by voting for Tom. And second, because of that, Ellie and Gabby could easily convince Tom to vote for Tess. Although yes, Tess is one of those people who Ellie has been actively interacting with outside the game, but getting rid of her would absolutely work at this point, and it will absolutely save Ellie from being eliminated. But what if Ellie wants to have both Gabby and Tess by her side in the game? Well, here is another variant that could totally work in this case. What if Ellie tried to seriously injure or poison one of the other contestants? If Ellie manages to do that, as a result, it can cause a mad evacuation, after which the voting process is gonna be cancelled. In fact, Ellie can pull that trick on one of her teammates. Ellie could do what Yul failed to do in his season. She could just straight up poison Aiden. I will say even more. In fact, Aiden seems to be the weakest contestant like in the entire All-Stars cast. Besides that, Aiden was like the main hero in his season, so his screen time was already enough. So right now he pretty much overstays his welcome. But what if Ellie doesn't want to hurt anyone in the process? Here is another simple variant for you. She could just easily rig the votes against Aiden. Not gonna lie, sometimes there are really annoying moments with Aiden, at least personally for me. And as I said earlier, Aiden now is pretty much overstaying his welcome. So I'm gonna be honest, Ellie rigging the votes against Aiden would be the perfect way to end his storyline. But what if Ellie doesn't want to play the game that way? Well, she could just try to get a help from the Villains Alliance. After it was announced that Ellie got 3 votes against herself, Aiden said, "Oh, no help from the Villains Alliance, huh? Well, I mean, this has to mean something. This has to mean that Villain's Alliance could do something about it. Ellie could get some help from her alliance. But what if Ellie doesn't need any help from anyone? Well, in that case, she shouldn't join that alliance in the first place. This is exactly the biggest reason why Ellie became a target. Also, it's not like Ellie did not know that she was going to play with fire if she would do that. In fact, she seemed to be the only Villains Alliance member that hated the idea of this alliance. But what if Ellie wants to stick with the Villains Alliance? Well, she can try to find the immunity idol. Okay, so unlike the other 9 variants, this variant is probably gonna be the most surreal one because no one ever mentioned that there is an immunity idol hidden somewhere in the camp. However, if Ellie looked a little better for it maybe, she could find something like, if not an idol, then maybe an advantage or something like that. Like, remember how Rhea found that advantage in her season? I would not be surprised if in this season there is something hidden like that. But what if Ellie doesn't succeed at finding anything like that? Well, like in previous challenges, Ellie could just go ahead, distract Jake, and win the challenge for her team. Again! Remember how in the previous episode Ellie pushed Tom on Aiden? Well, she could do something like that in this episode again, although we are not exactly sure what she could do there, but you know how Crystal says everything is allowed, and Ellie is definitely way smarter than she seems, so I don't think she would have any problems with that. But what if in the end, none of these amazing 9 variants don't work out for Ellie? Well, here comes our 10th last variant of this video. Don't participate in the All-Star season like at all. Like seriously, Ellie is one of the few people who never was excited to join the Disventure camp for another season. Ellie clearly had a choice here to not compete in this venture camp for another season. I will tell even more, she could maybe even convince Gabby to not do it. And it will be definitely interesting without Ellie and Gabby, but at least like that she would not be ever eliminated. And now, this is it for this video guys. Don't forget to press the like button under this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you are not subscribed to it yet. And I will see you in the next one.